Good afternoon, Ma. You're welcome to today's edition of PR Woman of the Month. My name is Stella Okosiboje, and I work with Nigerian Women in Public Relations as the Junior Programs and Membership Executive. The PR Woman of the Month is to highlight and showcase the great work that female professionals in Nigeria and in diaspora are doing in the public relations industry. So other females that are upcoming that wants to get started, that needs all the encouragement, they can also go back to these videos as a sort of resource and encouragement to get started and strive in their career path, which is public relations. Thank you so much for accepting to do this with us.
Thank you, Stella. You're welcome.
We are grateful. For today's PR Woman of the Month, we have Chineze Amanfo. She's an accomplished public relations expert with 20 years of experience in the communications field. She has led numerous high-profile campaigns and initiatives, including corporate restructurings, product launches, crisis communications, and grassroots outreaches. Expertise spans from reputation management, crisis communications planning, media relations, marketing communications, to spokesperson training. At C F Porter Novelli, a renowned public relations consultancy where she kicked off her career, she honed her skills in reputation management and media relations, preparing executives for interviews and training spokesperson nationwide to excel in the media spotlight. She has also developed award-winning public relations campaigns for diverse clients, products, services, and initiatives. She has worked on several campaigns that showcases the transformative power of strategic public relations planning and expert implementation in shaping attitudes and behavior. Prior to her current role at Nine Mobile, she has served as brand and marketing communications manager at Inlax West Africa operation and marketing communications manager at Rendezvous, developer of Alaro City. She's an accredited public relations professional, a member of the Chartered Institute of Public Relations, and an associate of the National Institute of Public Relations. She provides strategic counsel to Reputation Solutions Provider Limited, PR Tulip Consult, and Brand IT Amanfo Limited. She also tutors at the London School of Public Relations Nigeria and Orange Academy. She's a graduate of the University of Benin, Nigeria, and holds an MBA from Business School, Netherlands. We are very excited to have you, Ma. Once again, you're welcome. As I was reading your profile, we're so happy to have you. More than 20 years of experience, and we see the impact that you're doing, and we see that you want to train young people because of you train in Digify Africa. I saw you there when I was in Digify. I see that you also teach in Orange Academy, and our first question is, we want to know how you got into the public relations industry. What was it, passion, or did you just dive in? We just want to know, how did you get into public relations?
I think I got into public relations by chance because I didn't study mass comm in school. I studied languages in school. And languages, French, German. So he had no relationship with public relations. And then when I served at Shell. We were just doing logistics, and administration. But then, I think sometimes the universe just walks around and then puts you in a place. So I was in the same space with the chairman of the PR agency that I eventually worked for, CNF. They used to be corporate and financial before they got affiliated to Porter Novelli in New York. We were in the same space back home, not even in Lagos. And then I approached him to say, oh, I understand that you own an agency. And he said, yes. I said, okay, I think I will try. I want to get into that space. So it was happenstance. I just happened to be in the same space with him. And I think that was the best decision I made. You know that they will say a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So this time I opened my mouth and something came out of it. And so he introduced me to his recruitment agency. I went through the interview stages and I was selected. We were like 6 of us and I was the only one selected. And that was how my journey started into the public relations industry. I went in as a management trainee. Yes, because I had no prior knowledge of public relations. So I went in as a management trainee doing media clippings. You know, back in the day, it used to be media clippings. We were not heavy on online. So that's how I ventured into public relations. And I don't think I regret any moment of it.
All right. Thank you, Ma. I will take what you said. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. And in public relations, communication is very important. Ask the right question. Ask question when in doubt. And if you want something, you speak about it, and definitely help will come. Thank you so much. Can you walk us through some successful campaigns or projects you've worked on as the communications lead for the different companies you worked with?
You know, in the agency, you have this opportunity of working on different accounts, working for different clients. So I think the projects that stand out for me, number one is a project we did during the merger between IBTC and Stanbic that made them become Stanbic IBTC. That merger was $1 million merger. And there were a lot of stakeholders involved. And I was working from the side of the agency where we had to be in the middle of bringing all the stakeholders together. So those were the kind of projects that helped to shape my knowledge of stakeholder management. Because I mean, you do know how important stakeholder management is for what we do in the PR space. So that project really shaped up my whole knowledge of stakeholder management, because we had to involve all the stakeholders involve all the stakeholders, bring them together, including the internal stakeholders. And then by the time the merger was through and then the rebranding exercise started, the PR support to help with the rebranding, it was very, very intense. But we had to do it and then, of course, ensure that at the end of the day, all stakeholders were well taken care of. I think another project was one I did for competition. I currently work in Mobile, but we did it for then my agency was working for competition as it were now. But of course, they were not competition when I was there. But we helped to set up the foundation for that organization because, of course, they were operating from another client. And I think it's easy for organizations to go about doing their businesses without establishing that corporate social responsibility to demonstrate themselves as responsible, in the society. So we helped that brand, shape that brand in such a way that they were able to establish. Because I mean, like my boss will say, it's bad manners that you come into a community, you're doing business, you're making gains in the business, and you're not giving back to the business. And I'll borrow my former boss's words, it is bad manners. Currently, there are some projects that we've handled, which I will say have been very satisfying and rewarding. One of them is something we did 2 years ago. It's a skills acquisition exercise. And the way we shaped that skill acquisition exercise was we positioned it as CSR, but in leveraging it, of course, we had to make sure that people saw the value. It was not just a CSR project, but it was a we worked hard to make it a sustainable project in such a way that the messaging was we train people and then they train people, they employ people. So it was a two-pronged kind of comms. First, we were positioning it as CSR, and then of course we were backing it up with a lot of communication to ensure that people saw the value in what we were doing. Because you could be doing something and people don't see the value in what you're doing. So there's been quite a lot of other projects, but I think maybe we can stop here. I'm sure I will speak about a lot more, in the course of this our chat.
All right, thank you. I will pick from what you said. If you're doing great work, it is important that the people that you're doing it for also see the value, and that's where public relation also comes in.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And we want to know how you collaborate with other teams or departments. We know that public relations is part of every organization. Most organization that wants to grow has a PR team, and you have to work with other departments. So we're talking about internal communications, you're liaising with HR and other departments. So we want to know, how do you collaborate with these teams to align your PR strategies to achieve broader business goals?
Okay, so in the past, it used to be maybe marketing or any other department. They come up with the project and then they dump it at you. To say, oh, we need PR support. Sometimes they will go as granular as saying, oh, just give us a press release. But I wasn't having that. You have to practice what you preach. You can't go and preach or teach students that, oh, this is the way it should be, and then you're collecting a different brief from the internal stakeholders you work with. So we fought. What I mean fight, it was practically a fight to ensure that we were part of the strategy, because that's where it all starts. If you're part of the strategy, you're able to chip into maybe shape. If it's a product that you're trying to talk about, then you're part of the shaping of the project or the product or the service. But if you're not part of it, you're being fed the information, and so it limits how creative you can get with the proposals that you bring out. In terms of collaboration, we have tried to establish that collaboration between internal comms, which sits. So here we have a unique structure. So the internal comms sits with HR, but they work very close with us, because if we have an announcement, of course, there has to be the internal and the external. And one of the things that the PR team preached, and that has now been heard, is you can't be making an external announcement when your internal stakeholders are not on board. What that promotes is you will see staff that will say, oh, they said, and that is the worst thing that can happen to any organization. Your internal stakeholders are your internal ambassadors. They are the ones that will take the preaching to the external audience, and they are the ones that can defend the brand if they buy into what the brand is selling. So the collaboration, it's still work in progress. We're still fighting and struggling to ensure that we see PR come out loudly as that management function, because that's the target. Because when PR is a management function, nobody really gets to the background. Nobody cuts your budget. That happens to PR people a lot. When they're looking for money anywhere, it's the PR money budget that they touch. But if it's a management function, then you don't have any issues. You sit on the table where decisions are made, so that you can chip in and ensure that there is an alignment with all the stakeholders in the business. So
Yeah, thank you, Ma. I think what you just stated is very important because a lot of PR person, communications person in different organizations, they do not sit in the room when decisions are made. And I attended the conference, and a PR professional was saying that for your work to be effective and for you to be giving the clear messaging, you must be in the room when these decisions are made.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes, yeah, she was saying that she has worked in the past. She work with her team, and then when she comes back, the CEO, the CFO, they are saying this is not what we want to talk about. This is not the message we want to give out. Those issues stemmed from them not being present in the room.
In the room,
So
yeah, that's true.
this is very important, especially for upcoming PR professionals that want to be at corporate communications, head of corporate communications for big brands. They should know that they should be in the room when important decisions are made. Thank you
easy.
for.
It's not easy, but of course it's achievable.
Yes, it is achievable. Like the way you said you fought. So
it's a fight, or it's a continuous fight.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that with us. And we want to know, what is the most challenging part of working in the public relations and communications industry, especially as a female practitioner?
The most challenging thing, people don't understand what you do. People don't understand what you do. It's heartbreaking when I'll give you an example. So we have renovations going on in the office. So people are sitting in different places. So one of the blocks is being renovated. So we're a bit scattered in the way we sit. And then one of my colleagues in security happened to be sitting beside me one day. And I heard him. He repeated it 2 or 3 times. He said, well, we'll use it for PR. He said it 3 times. And I got curious. He was on the phone. When he finished, I called him. I said, what do you mean by PR? He said, that sometimes, because they are security, so that sometimes when we have issues in some locations, right, maybe the properties we have there, that they engage them, So all those community engagements that they make to find out the pain points of the society, the communities, and then probably chime in to help. He was calling it PR. I was upset, and it took another 15 minutes, 20 minutes to engage him to say, please never say that again. If you say you're doing community relations, that is fine. If you're saying community support, that is fine. I say, please don't bastardize my profession. So these are the issues. They don't understand what you do. Sometimes you have a boss that has no idea what you do. Put it in the newspaper. Do a press release. It goes beyond that. So I think that is the greatest challenge we have as PR professionals. In terms of as a female, I've not really had that experience, because when I was in the agency, it was predominantly male, but we were accepted. We were 2 ladies. We were quite young then, and so we were accepted and we were taught. So I've never really had that experience about being singled out as a woman or missed an opportunity in the PR space because I am a woman. And I think with that, I will say I have been lucky, in that aspect. But I do know that there are people that have missed chances because there is that thing about, okay, she's a female, so we don't know if she can do the work. If you have to go into, if it's the people that handle lobbying and all, can they stay up late at night, or can this person is a married woman, can she cope and all of that? I've never really had that kind of issue, thankfully. But generally getting people to understand what you do is more, I think, is the biggest challenge. And so we keep educating, we keep enlightening people, we keep telling them what public relations is not, in order for them to understand what public relations is. And it's a continuous process.
Yes, Ma, it's a continuous process, I would say, because you're giving a pitch So a scenario, someone was giving a pitch, and at the end of the day, someone is asking what is the return on investment for this budget,
Yes.
for a PRO budget. So yeah, I think it's one of the major challenge, and you have to defend and defend and defend your work. And I would say that this is one of the issue that you are aware of the Experiencing Public Relations conference that is held annually. So I think this is one of the major issue that the conference says to clarify, that because PRO is not a short term investment, it is a long term investment. So thank you, ma.
And like I always tell, I mean, some of the students, I think people understanding that public relations is not interested in if you sell, but more interested in ensuring that you have the right reputation, you're well placed. Because if you have the right reputation, your product is recognized in a particular way, then you won't have any problem selling if you're a salesperson. But if you're struggling to recognize the brand, and all of that, what's the reputation of the organization and all of that, then it will be hard sell. So we keep moving.
Thank you, ma. So we just want to know, the public relations industry is ever changing. So how do you stay updated with the latest industry trends and best practices in public relations?
It's reading, or you need to read, you need to train. It's just like saying, once you stop learning, just know you're dying or you're dead already. So you need to, global best practices are there. We're blessed at this, in this time and age, because we have loads of information. So you know what is happening, how are they doing it in a particular place, what are the global best practices. You take a lot of case studies, you read a lot of case studies. How has it been done in other climes? Are there people that have done it locally? So it's continuous training. You train yourself. There are influencers in our space who, of course, are very knowledgeable in this business. You collaborate with them. You partner if you can. You learn from them. They learn from you. And then, I think that's it. Just continuous learning, improving on what you already know, ensuring that you're not static, ensuring that you're not in that ancient day of, oh, this is how we've always done it. No, there's really nothing like that anymore. This is how we've always done it, but we can try something different to get a better result, is the way PR practitioners should continue thinking. Okay, in the past we used to do traditional media. Okay, now what can we do? A mix of traditional and online media, or should we try other methods? So that's the way it is. Just continuous improvement, learning, expanding, thinking global, more like, because that's the way to go now. Of course, ensure that you're not playing in the local league. Aim for the Premier and Champions League, so that you can compete. You can compete well and better, on the global stage. That's it.
All right. Thank you, ma. Continuous learning. So you cannot say that this is how it has been done, and this is how we'll keep doing it. So you must evolve and adapt. So thank you so much. And we have just one more questions for you. And the question is, what advice will you give to a PR professional who hope to climb the PR ladder? So this question is someone that wants to be at the top management, head of communications in a global brand. What advice will you give to the person? The person is looking at you. I love what you do, and I want to get there someday.
Maybe what I would have told my younger self is stay hungry. My advice to upcoming young PR people who think that, sometimes, even in my organization here, they look at you as if, oh, you're really enjoying. We probably are enjoying. So I think it's first is to stay hungry. What do I mean by stay hungry? Hungry for knowledge, hungry to ensure that you hone your expertise, hungry to ensure that you're always on top of your game, right? There's a joke that somebody usually cracks. They say, once you know your onions, you will eat your soul. So it's a joke that somebody really, so I mean, and so that is what it is. Ensure that you have the know-how, you ensure that you have the competencies, so that when um, push comes to shove, and then of course you're able to the task. Build relationships, very key. Last weekend, I was invited to the Lagos Business School presidential dinner. Guess who invited me? The intern. She was doing her masters then, so she was told to get into an APR agency. So she worked under me. That was more than 10 years ago. So build relationships. Those relationships will take you far. Those relationships can open doors for you. I will repeat it again. Learn new skills. Always brush yourself. Learn new skills. Oh, everybody's going digital. You can add analytics, data analytics, and all of that to what you do in PR. It will give you an edge over other people, because when you're presenting things like stakeholder target audience mapping and all of that, you can back it up with data if you have that knowledge. I didn't learn early to measure what I do. Then we were just running, more like, okay, just running and doing things. So measurement is very important. Visibility is very important as well. When we were growing up as PR people, we were taught that we were the people at the back end. So even up till now, sometimes I shy away from the limelight, and then I'll now remember. So that was how we were taught. And so I would do it differently if I knew what I knew now. So for people that are upcoming, please don't be the person at the background. If you do the work, then you can beat your chest and own it. Talk about it. That's the only way people will know what you have done and the work that you have put in. Brag about it, take glory about it, but by all means, do not be arrogant. So embrace best practices, practice ethical PR. There is something like that. Don't be complacent. Don't say, oh, because it's always been done in a particular way, so you have to lean in and do it the other way. No, best practices, so that you can compete in the global stage. And then, of course, stay up to date with industry trends. It's a no-brainer. What is going on out there? Industry trends. Now that AI is all around, all of us are learning AI. We're all on the same, even the Gen Zs, we're all on the same pedestal now, because it's a new thing. So everybody is learning. So stay up to date. And I think you will just be the best public relations practitioner that you will ever get. Stay up to date, network, attend events, attend relevant industry events, improve yourself, your writing skills, your presentation skills, your communication skills. All of this make you a well-rounded public relations practitioner. And the sky will be your starting point and not the limit.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much, Ma. That's all the questions we have for you today, and we're so excited to have you be part of us. Thank you so much. Thank you for the great work that you do and for impacting the youth. We see your great work. I also saw you at Africa NST, the mentorship.
Were you part of the mentees?
No, I just saw the flyer and I'm
Oh, okay.
like,
I said I had my own session yesterday. I was
thank
just
you.
telling a colleague, I said I've been talking since yesterday because I just had a session, in-house session here on personal branding, and I was shocked at the number of people that came online for it. Apparently, everybody's trying to build their personal brand, which is a good thing. So I commend you guys to at Nigerian Women in Public Relations. You people are doing a fantastic job. Um, Putting women or bringing women to the limelight. So well done for all you guys do. I follow you people as well. I see all the good work. So well done to the team.
All right, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you EPR 2025. So yeah, that's
No
emotion.
problem.
So
All right,
we
no
hope to see
problem.
you more.
All
Thank,
right now.
thank you, ma.
Take care, Stella. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.